Up till now, we have seen various settings and elements of the macro recorder. In the section after this one, I will be spending some time on the basics of macros and some of the crucial things that you absolutely need to know to understand macros better. Before moving to the next section, I'd like to show you some of the ways you can trigger your macros. I won't be specifically teaching you any of those in this video, but I'll give you a demonstration. I'm pretty sure you will be able to pick up some of the things from this video just by going through it once. This video is just to show what triggering a macro means and various methods to trigger your macros. I've got this workbook named Triggering Macros opened on the screen. For demonstration purpose, I've recorded a relatively easy macro that automatically generates headers of a data entry table that I often use and applies a certain format to it. The first way to trigger a macro is from the Developer tab. So let's click on the Developer tab and then click on Macros. All the macros that are currently available to you are displayed. You can also use the shortkeys Alt F8 to display the macro dialog box. The macro named Table Headers is the one which you're trying to execute. Notice B3 is currently the active cell. The particular macro is recorded using relative references, so our first column header should appear in cell B3 after the macro is executed. You can simply double-click on the macro name or click on the Run button to execute the code. Notice how the table names are automatically generated and formatted in an instance. There is a lot more happening behind the scenes than you think. Anyways, let's move to the next way to trigger macros. While recording the macro, I had assigned a shortkey to it, Ctrl-Shift-T. Whenever I'll use the combination of these three keys at once, the macro should run. As a matter of fact, if you open a new workbook by pressing Ctrl-N while the triggering macros workbook is still open, then use the combination Ctrl-Shift-T, the macro will still run on the new workbook. I hope you remember the rules I taught you regarding macro shortkeys. The next way is by using shapes. This is a regular shape I've inserted by clicking on the Insert tab and then Shapes. I've assigned the macro to this button. Whenever this button is clicked, the macro will run. Let us try it out. Notice how the macro placed the first column header in the active cell. That is because I had used relative references while recording the macro. This is a very crucial concept to understand, and I will tell you more about it in the next few videos. I'll show you one more way to trigger macros using the Quick Access toolbar. Notice the yellow button on the Quick Access toolbar. This is a trigger button to execute the code. Try clicking on it and the macro should run. There are a few more ways of triggering macros that aren't available while using the macro recorder. For example, event-based macros. You need to know a bit of VBA to know how to use it. I hope you now have an idea of how macros can be executed, and I'm pretty sure you're very excited by now to learn how to do it yourself. Keep going on with the course for now.